This is the second of 3 videos which outlines the format of each of the 3 A-level law exams. This second video is looking at Exam 2. Exam 2 is Substantive Law in Practice, and in this exam you'll be expected to answer scenario questions on criminal, tort and contract law. The exam is 2 hours and 15 minutes long and it's worth 37.5% of your qualification. You answer 3 questions in total. Each question is from a different section. In section A, you must answer 1 scenario on the law of contract, and you'll have a choice of 2. The scenario is worth 25 marks and you'll spend 45 minutes on it. Possible topics on contract include offer and acceptance, consideration, intention to create legal relations, privity, express implied terms and exclusion clauses, misrepresentation and economic duress, discharge of contract, and remedies. It is possible that your scenario might be on one topic on its own, such as a whole topic on privity, but you could also have a scenario that has a mix of a number of these topics in it. So your scenario might have some offer and acceptance, a bit of consideration, maybe some remedies. So you need to be prepared to have a mix of topics as well as a topic on its own. In section B, you'll answer 1 scenario on the law of tort. Again, you have a choice of 2, and again, it's worth 25 marks and you'll spend 45 minutes on it. Topics that could come up here include negligence, occupier's liability, trespass to land, nuisance, Rylands and Fletcher, vicarious liability, volenti and contributory negligence, and remedies. Once again, it could be a topic on its own in a scenario, or it could be a scenario involving a couple of issues. In section C, you'll answer 1 scenario on criminal law. Again, you've got a choice of 2 scenarios, and your scenario is worth 25 marks and you'll spend 45 minutes on it. There are lots of topics that we've studied in criminal law, including omissions, causation, mens rea, strict liability, attempts, murder, voluntary manslaughter, which is diminished responsibility and loss of control, involuntary manslaughter, where you've got unlawful act manslaughter, gross negligence manslaughter and reckless manslaughter, the non-fatal offences against the person, so that's assault, battery, ABH, GBH section 20, GBH section 18. We've then got self-defence, consent, and your property offences, theft, robbery, burglary, and then some general defences, intoxication, insanity and automatism, duress and necessity. Once again, you might have a question that just involves murder, but more frequently there'll be a mix of a couple of these topics in a single scenario. So your murder scenario will typically also have causation and mens rea in there as well. Quite often you'll see scenarios that have theft, robbery and burglary in there, and quite often when you're doing non-fatal offences, you'll get self-defence and consent going nicely with those as well. So some topics do fit better together than others, but you'll see that through looking at past papers. So in this booklet, I'm going to just whiz through and show you what the scenarios look like. So section A, remember, is contract law. So you'll have a choice of 2 scenarios. And obviously you pick the one that you think you can answer the best. Now in my booklet, I've included lots of contract scenarios because I've tried to give you 1 scenario on each topic. So for instance, this particular 25 marker is on offer and acceptance. And you can see there that it's a typical advise type question where not only must you explain what the law on offer and acceptance is, you must also apply that law, in this case to these characters, Dylan, Ella, Dylan and Wendy, to say whether there has been a valid offer and acceptance or not. So other scenarios are in here as well. So I've got consideration there, intention to create legal relations, privity, and so forth. Really important when you're doing revision that you are practicing example scenarios. So section B are the tort scenarios. Again, remember that you'll have a choice of 2, but in this booklet there are more than 2 here because I'm trying to give you examples across different topics. So you'd spend 45 minutes per scenario. So first one there is negligence, and then an occupier's liability, and so on. And then finally, section C, criminal scenarios. You'd be answering 1 out of a choice of 2, but again, I've included a number of scenarios here so that you can see how scenarios look for different topics. Of course, in every topic booklet that you have over the course of the year, you will have example mini scenarios in. There will also be past paper questions at the end of each topic booklet. And obviously we'll practice some in class and we'll have some as homeworks. But this booklet, the idea of it is so that you've got in one place a variety of scenarios on the different topics that could come up. So just to recap then, what we've seen here on this exam. Exam 2 is scenarios. So you answer 3 scenarios on this exam. 1 scenario on contract, 1 scenario on tort, 1 scenario on criminal law. And you must answer 3 scenarios in the time.